In the last couple of weeks, gaming got hit with 3 pieces of news, and on their own, each one stinks. Together, they quietly rewrite what it means to buy a video game. GTA 6, the biggest entertainment launch in history, will have a physical edition, with no disc in it. You pay $80, you get a box, you open it, and inside is a slip of paper with a download code. That's it. Rockstar confirmed it in writing also. A disc will not be included inside the box. A few days later, Sony announced that starting January 2028 it will stop producing disc versions of games entirely. Not just its own games, all new PlayStation games, third party included, the disc as a thing you can hold is being retired. Which basically confirms news 3, and that is that the PlayStation 6 is going to be digital only machine. Because why build a disc drive for a disc that won't exist? But here's the thing that should actually bother you, whether you own a PlayStation or not. It's about the difference between owning something and renting it. And right now, without most people noticing, the entire industry is walking us from one to the other and quietly closing every exit on the way. Let's break down exactly what you're losing, why Sony is really doing it, and the one thing that's actually starting to fight back. Okay, let's be honest about both sides, because digital genuinely has upsides, and if I skip them, you shouldn't trust the rest of the video. Digital is convenient. No swapping discs, no scratches, no losing the case. You buy at 2 AM in your underwear and you're playing in 20 minutes, depending on your internet connection. Most people already vote for it. By Sony's own numbers, around 78% of PlayStation game sales are already digital, so this isn't Sony forcing something nobody wants. But here is what you give up when the disc goes away. The used market, this is the big one. When a game exists on a disc, a second-hand market exists. Older games go on sale, used copies get cheap, and this is the key part, nobody controls those prices. It's just gamers buying and selling from gamers. Supply and demand. That 6-month-old game you wanted for $70, on disc, used it's 20, in a year maybe 10. That entire market only exists because you owned a physical object you were legally allowed to resell. Kill the disc and you'll kill the market completely. There is no used digital game. There's no lending it to your friend to try. There's no reselling it when you're done. Every single copy forever is bought new from one store at whatever price that one store decides. Collecting. People love a shelf, a physical library of the games they've played, spines lined up, box art on display, and special editions. Remember when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Collector's Edition came with actual working night vision goggles? That whole culture, steelbox, statues, the stuff you display, is built around physical media. A code in a box is not a collectible. Ownership, and I cannot stress this one enough. When you buy a disc, you own that copy. Forever. As long as you have a console that reads it, you can play it. No internet, no permission, no account. In 20 years, offline. Nobody can reach into your living room and take it back. Digital is the exact opposite, and I need you to really hear this. You don't own it. You're buying a license, a permission to access it, and that permission lives on a server that the company controls. If that store shuts down, if the servers go off, if your account gets banned, fairly or by mistake, you can lose access to your entire library. Games you paid for, gone, and you'd have no disc to fall back on. And if you think that never actually happens, stick around because in a minute I'm going to show you the game that proved it does, and the million people who are now fighting about it. So you might ask yourself, why is this happening? Sony's official line is simple. Consumers are going digital, physical is declining, this is just following the market. And that's genuinely part of it. 78% digital is a real number. Discs cost money to manufacture, ship and stock, and from a pure business view, this is efficient. But that's the stated reason. Let's talk about the structural one, the part they don't put in a press release. Think about what removing the disc actually does to Sony's control. Before, if you wanted a PlayStation game, you had options. New disc, used disc, a sale at a random shop, borrow it, trade it. Sony didn't touch most of those transactions, and worse for them, those cheap used copies actually competed with their full price digital sales. Take the disc away and every one of those options disappears. Now, there is exactly one place to buy a PlayStation game, the PlayStation Store. One seller, one price. No competition, no second-hand market undercutting them. No lending, no reselling. Sony controls how you buy, what you pay, and because it's a license, whether you keep it at all. That's not conspiracy, it's just what happens to power when you remove every alternative. Here's the concrete version. Say a new God of War lands. On disc, in a year or two, you'd likely grab it if used for a fraction of the price. Digital only, that game can sit near full price for years, with the occasional not very exciting sale, because there's nothing forcing the price down. No used copies, no competition. You pay what they ask or you don't play at all. And now the part that to me gives the whole strategy away, because if it were only about discs, you could still shrug it and say fine, I'll play PlayStation games on PC instead. Except Sony just closed that door too. Around the same time, Sony confirmed it's ending PC releases of its big single-player exclusives. Games like Ghost of Yotei and Marvel's Wolverine are staying PlayStation only. This came straight from PlayStation Studio boss Herman Hulst, who reportedly told staff these games didn't make enough money on PC, and that Sony wants to keep its IP aligned to their own platform. And Sony quietly deleted the line from its corporate report that used to promise it would bring first-party games to PC. To be precise, this is single-player first-party games. Sony's live service games like Marathon and games from outside studios will still come to PC. Publicly, Sony calls it case by case, but the direction is unmistakable. Now, put the two moves side by side. No more discs, so you can buy PlayStation games as objects you own. No more PC ports, so you can't play their big games anywhere except the PlayStation. Two exits closing at the same time, and the effect of both is identical. To play these games, you must buy Sony's hardware, and you must buy from Sony's store, on Sony's terms. And here's my honest take. I don't think this is Sony being evil in a cartoon way. I think it's something much more mundane and frankly more concerning. It's a company optimizing purely for control and margin, and treating do our customers actually own what they buy as someone else's problem. It's the same thing that happened everywhere else. Music, movies, TVs. Buy quietly turned into rent, and one day the thing you just paid for wasn't there anymore. Which brings us to the game that proved exactly this point of view. In 2024, Ubisoft shut down the servers for a racing game called The Crew. Always online, no offline mode. An estimated 12 million people had bought it. And when the servers went dark, the game didn't just stop getting updates, it became completely unplayable. Then the license were pulled from people's accounts, you bought it, and now it's like you never did. This is the entire nightmare of digital ownership made real on one specific day. But here's the hopeful part, because that shutdown lit a fire. A movement called Stop Killing Games, started by a YouTuber, turned that anger into an actual European citizens initiative. And it worked. They gathered over 1.29 million verified signatures across the European Union. They forced the European Commission to formally respond, got a hearing in the European Parliament, and led to a lawsuit in France against Ubisoft over The Crew. Now, I'll be completely honest because I don't want to sell you fairy tales. In June 2026, the Commission declined to make a binding law, offering a weaker, voluntary code of conduct instead. So it's not a clean leap, but the fight isn't over. The campaign immediately pivoted to getting game preservation rules written into the new EU consumer legislation, the Digital Fairness Act. It already has dozens of members of parliament backing it. In the US, California has been moving too, with laws forcing stores to admit that buy actually means license. Okay, so what can you actually do? First, vote with your wallet while you still can. Buy physical, buy used, support the disc version. Everything you buy is a data point that says this market has value. Do not rush to pre-order the empty box. You can also support the people already doing the hard part. Stop Killing Games, consumer rights groups, the legislative pushes. Signing and sharing genuinely moves these needles. 1 million signatures is why the EU had to respond at all. Last but not least, and totally honest, could enough of us refuse to buy digital, refuse the PS6, refuse the discless console, to make Sony reverse course? In theory, yes. In reality, it's incredibly hard, because there will always be millions of people who buy the new console and the new game on day one without thinking about any of this. A boycott needs everyone. That's exactly why the collective stuff, like the laws, the campaigns, the lawsuits, are the lever that actually work, more than any of us quietly not buying a game. Because the truth is, the companies are betting on your convenience beating your principles. Every single time. The only thing that's ever proven them wrong is when a lot of people get loud at the same time. And it's only appropriate to end with my own personal opinion. Digital games aren't the enemy. The loss of ownership is. The disc was something that proved to us that we paid for the game and that we owned it. And we're letting that proof disappear one convenient step at a time. You paid for it, you should own it, it's that simple. If you think physical games are worth fighting for, or if you think I'm dead wrong and you love the old digital future, tell me in the comments, because I genuinely want to hear the other side on this one.